Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Emergency School Live.
Woo!
All right. First of all, I want to introduce our students today. Here we have
Love Micah. And Bronsted.
and Vidaliz in the master. And first, I would like to say something before we are starting. Our podcast become after being like more story podcast, you've been turning into a interviewing podcast, which I love, and because this give us the opportunity to have many community staff and teachers and students even. So that's like an interesting way about who's gonna be the next person here. And that said, we already have a new person today. It's a pleasure for me to having this teacher in our podcast. And girls, I want you to give us a nice welcome to Mr. Conti.
Oh my God, I'm so honored to be here.
Hi, Mr. Conti.
truly
How
am.
are you?
I'm amazing. I can't believe that I was invited here. And I don't know. It's just wonderful. Like the setup is. I can't believe what you've done here. You've done amazing things.
Thank you so much.
I have known Mr. Marlis, just to let you guys know. We started here on the same day,
yeah,
4 years ago. This is our fourth year. We're ending right now.
you're right.
And so we have seen the growth of the school from maybe 40 kids we had one year.
Yeah, around. Yeah.
And then it has blown up into what it is now, which is a great school with just so many great people, staff and students alike. So it's amazing to me. I'm not going to hit that again.
Yeah.
That was a big sound.
All right, Mike. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a pleasure for me. I've been working this growing the school growing with you, and having you as a colleague is being like supportive myself, but also supportive to our students because listeners, Mr. Mike is our big fan. I will say that he's the first person who listens to
I am
us
a
every
fan.
time.
I am a fan.
Every time I receive feedback from him, and I mean that's really supportive, and that makes me happy.
So I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like I love the medium of podcasts. I think it reminds me of when I'm a little bit old. And when I was young, we still listened to the radio all the time.
Yeah.
That was the only choice.
That we had that
You
time.
won't believe this, girls. It was the only choice we had in the car was to listen to the radio.
No TV,
No TV.
no internet.
No, and there was just music or stories and interviews. And when podcasts started up, it just reminded me of that. So now I have 20 different podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis while I'm just doing things, you know,
Yeah.
even preparing lessons for school or or cooking or anything. I'm always listening to podcasts. I love the medium.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for listening to us. And girls, all yours.
Yeah, it's not really a question, but I'm just saying something to the listeners that he is my teacher. Like, he's my science teacher.
All right.
Every day he see me, like, he knows me.
Yes, I
And how
do.
does it feel having Mr. Mike here, Mr. Conti here?
Scary.
Yeah. Bronstead is an excellent student.
All right.
As anyone who has met Bronstead
That's
knows.
why she's here. Okay.
Yeah, she's quite a good student.
So, where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Okay, broad question.
All
as we
right.
say, yes. Well, I grew up in and around Boston is the simple answer. In a lot of towns around Boston, and then eventually moving into Boston. And my childhood was probably, it was not typical for the time because I had, my father passed away when I was very young. And so that was the kind of challenge that I think sent me in different directions.
All right.
So my childhood was different even from the friends that I had. So I found myself in a position that I think is more common now, which is finding an extended family because your own family is not necessarily whole or what we used to think of as whole. And now it means a lot to me to have like Steven and my students and my friends and just have like, and my own family, but to think more broadly about what family means, right? And my conclusion that I've come to is that family is what you say it is. That's what family is.
All right.
So
I
that's,
mean, it could be your own family, by your friends, by
Yeah.
the people who surround you and
Yeah.
support you and be
Yep.
with you.
it could be anybody, as long as if you consider yourself supportive of each other. Yeah.
I love that perspective of what family means.
And coming to a place like Emergence and meeting with people from other cultures, I think in other cultures that's more common. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in American culture, it really was just two parents, kids,
Couple of kids. Yeah.
right? Whereas maybe in other cultures that I've met since, there's a bigger understanding about what family means. You know?
Many people.
Yeah, many people. Yes. So,
Like when you were a kid, how was your school life and what type of kid was you?
okay, some of my students know this. Most of them don't. So I'm going to expose myself for a second here. I thought this might come up. I was I could do the work. When I did the work, I got A's. Problem was that I just, around the age of 13, 14, I just did everything I could to not be in school.
Really?
Yeah, I did. And
But
then
what you didn't like or what you didn't want it to be there?
I think I felt like there were other things that I wanted to do, and it was a mistake I made.
Okay.
So the mistake I made was thinking that the things I wanted to do, like play music, that was my main goal, to play music in a band. And I was doing that, and I wanted to live in Boston with people who were doing that. So by the time I was 16, 17 years old, I was mostly living on my own in Boston, and I was kind of in and out of high school,
Okay.
right? So I dropped out twice. But yeah, I know this is a great, right? And that actually turns out to be my message from that, being a teacher now, was I feel like I have something to say to kids who drop out a lot, which is that I get it. I get it. You have some of our students need to make money, or they have interests that are beyond school. My message is that it's a very short time that you're in school. Get through those years, because if you do it the way I did it, it's much harder.
Yeah.
It's much harder. And I mean years harder. So I had to go back and make up all that work and find ways to graduate. And that was very hard. Then when I went to college, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved college. I loved everything about it, what I was studying, the people I was meeting, the hours you keep.
The perspective
The
changed.
perspective changed, and I saw education as like such a good. And I wanted, when I started studying to get my teaching license, I wanted to spread that message.
Nice.
That's what I wanted to tell people.
Basically, I will say that the key message from this part is like, if you skip something, anyway, you will need to come back and do it again.
Exactly.
Right.
That is definitely my message, and that there's a correct way to do things, and there's many pathways.
Yeah.
But some are much easier. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you always imagine yourself being a teacher, or you imagined that later in life?
It's funny because I think when I was very young, I did imagine it. It is what I wanted to do. I like.
Really? When you were a kid?
Even when I was a kid, yeah, I used to think it was funny to think I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
I don't think I ever had anything against teachers when I was in school. I think my issue was just my own freedom, like feeling like I didn't
Okay.
have my freedom or the time to do what I wanted to. So, but I really loved my teachers, and they tried very hard to keep me in school. They tried very hard. There was this man, I'll never forget his name. I hope he's still with us. His name was Coach Pirani. He was the football coach at one of the high schools I went to. and he would drive to my house to get me
Wow.
if I didn't show up at school, and he would knock on the door because he knew my mother was working. And if I didn't come to the door, he would open the door, come in, get me out of bed, and take me to school. You know, but even that, after a while, like he didn't have enough time to do. He couldn't do that every day,
All right.
But when I started going to college, and I studied English in college, and I studied history, and I very much wanted to teach that to other people.
All right.
Yeah. What led you to start working with multilingual students?
That's an excellent question, and it's a funny answer. It was an accident. I actually applied in Worcester to teach English, and I went to apply, and some random person, random teacher that I didn't even know said, hey, if you get your ESL license, which is English as a second language, you're going to have many more opportunities to teach, which at the time was very true. So I just went and got it because it was very easy to get then. The test was very easy.
Is it?
It's
I need it.
very hard, and it's very hard now, but 20 years ago it was very easy.
All right.
And I took the test, and I got hired like that
All right.
because there were so many positions for an ESL teacher. What I didn't know was that I was going to love it, and that I was like, okay, now I see what God's purpose is here for me. I'm supposed to come to teach these kids, and, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Nice. I mean, everything was like planned to be here now.
I feel like that, yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. What is something people might be surprised to learn about you?
That's very hard. I always think of a very obvious person. Surprised to learn about me. Well, you guys know that I love music, and then I play music, so that's not surprising.
But
Yeah.
you...
I guess maybe you'd be surprised that I traveled playing music. Like I did that for a living
Yeah.
for a long time. So for about 20 years of my life, I was actually able to support myself playing music in different ways. It was very hard, and I never got rich, but I was able to do work. I played bass, and I was able to do work in the studio and travel with some musicians and do it just enough to make it by, but never comfortably.
But you were like a part of the band, or were you
yeah.
hired by
Both.
both?
At different
All right.
times, yeah, at different times, both. And then in my 30s, when my oldest daughter was born, it just became too hard
Okay.
to be away from my family and also travel a lot. And that's when I started really putting my my efforts into getting my ESL license and all that. Yeah.
And then you just set it in one place, and
Yeah.
You're
Then
here.
now I've been in one place for a while. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I started off in Worcester, and I've been here. Yeah. I've only had 2 schools that I've taught at, and both schools just like this. So, well, not just like this. No,
So
no
what,
schools like
what
this.
was the name of the band?
Oh, there were so many. You wouldn't know any of them. You wouldn't know any of them.
Let me see if I know some.
I played in the band. I played with a band called the Outlets when I was much younger. Yeah, I played with a band called the Flat Duo Jets, Flat 9, and I a whole bunch of stuff, and then a bunch of stuff in like the studio where I just played on random people's stuff, like I was hired for the day to play. Yeah.
does it happen you to have, or might be something on YouTube to listen about?
Let's see if it's still on there. You got it?
So
Wow, you're good. So that's a woman named Jennifer Trinan that's me in the green.
oh, that's you.
Yep. This is a gas station in Los Angeles.
Oh,
My friend Chris on drums.
wow, that's awesome.
Why did you do zoom in like to see how like
Oh, look at this, you. All right.
very 90s.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Still have that shirt.
That's awesome. So you were living in LA?
Yeah, part-time. Yeah,
Oh.
part-time.
You have lived in too many different places.
Too many is correct.
Which place impacts you the most of them?
The place I loved the most, LA, I did not like.
You didn't like Los Angeles?
I didn't like it. No, I didn't like the weather. Never changed, and it was just. And the people are very different from they are on the East Coast. They're very happy all the time, and I'm not very happy all the time.
You need your depression and your
I need
anxiety.
I need the whole range of emotions, and that's what New England brings you, right?
know.
I'm very Massachusetts. If you know me, I'm very Massachusetts. Like, kind of cranky, then happy, and then making jokes a lot about bad things that happen to you. Like that's a very Massachusetts thing to do, right? Or a very Irish thing to do. And I love Boston. I love Seattle. Was very beautiful. The place that I lived that I loved the most though was Portland, Oregon.
Okay,
Which
but
is-
that one is really close to Seattle, right?
Very close to Seattle, yeah. And I really just love that city. It's beautiful. It's right near the mountains, so it's a combination of like a beautiful city and then beautiful mountains around it.
All right.
Yeah, it's great.
So, what did you enjoy the most on teaching in emergence?
Other than the students, Bronsted, of course. Or do you want me to say students?
No, it might be other things.
I just come into work every day, and every once in a while, I'll just be looking at the cafeteria and just think to myself, look at all these people from different places. This is amazing. You know, it's always my favorite thing about it. I love hearing the different languages and accents when I walk down the hall. I love being the only person in a room that doesn't speak Spanish well, which I often am. So I think it's given me the experience of being the other person, right?
Okay.
Where you guys are all used to being in the room as the only people who don't speak English. I have a little bit of that experience, you know.
Yeah.
What was one moment of teaching in your career that was that you will never forget?
Can I tell something funny?
Yeah.
It's funny about me.
Teaching.
Yeah. When I first, I worked at a school called the New Citizen Center in Worcester, and it's a Worcester public school. And the first day that I started there, all the kids showed up in the morning, and I was just blown away. You know, it was very emotional. Like I felt just very struck by all these different kids. I'd never seen that many kids from that many countries in one place.
Okay.
I don't think it's possible to find a place that has that many.
And now you're working on it.
Yeah. But the funny thing was that maybe the first 2 weeks are there, I had my own bias. We all have our own biases, right? I had my own bias, and I thought that girls who wear the hijab, that they are very quiet and very kind of mild and very obedient. That's what I thought.
And what was the surprise?
They're just like every other kid.
All right.
That's the surprise.
I thought you found a very active one.
Yes, but I realized that I realized very quickly that there are some things for students your ages that are the same no matter where you come from. Yeah, that was very surprising to me.
Okay, outside of school, what is something that you mostly enjoy in your free time?
I still play guitar every day,
Oh my god.
every day, and I still read every day. I love reading. I know that's not cool anymore,
No,
but I
that's cool,
love
that's
to
cool.
read. I love to read. So those are my activities outside of school. And my youngest daughter, who just 16, Maeve. I think you've met Maeve
Yeah, I
before.
met her.
You guys are going to see her actually at the talent show. spending time with her is like perfect amount of children for me outside
Okay.
of school. She's a great kid, and her mom, and it's just the three of us at home. It's fun.
Yeah. If you could go back and give an advice to your younger self, what would you?
Oh, that's an easy one. I think about this one all the time. I would tell myself, be patient. What is the saying? Don't sweat the small stuff.
Okay.
They say, like, don't. My advice would be, anything that you think is happening right now that you think is really bad or a disaster, or you've had trouble with your parents or with your school or anything, just remember that all those things will eventually resolve themselves, right? You're not going to it's not going to stick with you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're going to move on, and nobody's going to remember anyways, right?
Yeah.
But give yourself self-love. Love yourself. Don't hate on yourself, I guess is what I'd say. And try to do things like try to get through school, and then you will have much more freedom to do
Yeah.
what you want.
And later it's gonna be just like, oh, that was another story.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's so
Yeah, and
cute.
you will miss school so much when you're done with it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
You will miss it. It's hard to believe, but you will miss it a lot.
All right, Mike. We're going to do a quick fun round. This is about like I'm gonna give you two options,
Okay.
and you're gonna choose one of those.
Oh my goodness.
Ready?
Okay. Yes. Let's go.
Okay. I would say this is easy. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee, definitely.
Yeah, of course. City life or nature?
I would have said city life 10 years ago, but now definitely nature.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Morning person or night owl?
Again, I used to be a big night owl. Now I'm absolutely. I used to only be awake at night. Now I'm only awake during the day.
All right. This one is gonna be hard. Guitar or drums?
Ooh. Well, guitar is my favorite, but I think that everybody, and I mean all of us, are secret drummers.
Okay.
I think we all want to drum.
Yeah.
We all want to make noise.
Look at her face.
Not you.
No, I'm a guitar person.
Yeah, and I understand that. I love the guitar too, but there's something about drums that's so attractive. It's also the hardest instrument to buy. It's the most expensive,
Yeah, fancy and
and to
everything.
travel with. You have to carry a lot of stuff. So that also, I couldn't afford it, and I didn't want to carry all that stuff. So
Okay. And the last one, silence or music?
I'm in a good mood right now, so music, but
Okay,
usually
depends on the mood.
at the end of a school day, definitely silence.
All right.
I love our school. Our school is very loud.
Too much energy.
All day, so much energy, which is awesome. But I prefer silence at night. Yeah.
All right. Mike, one more time, thank you so much for
This is-
joining
it's
us
over?
today. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
That was so painless.
We have been recording for 20 minutes already.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
But
Thank you
I
guys.
love that you feel that way. I mean,
It's awesome. This is how it starts, right? This is
Yeah.
what I mean, when I was 13 years old, I started my first band. We had no idea how to play. We had no instruments. We found instruments. We played together until we learned how to play. We didn't take lessons. This is how it starts. Go and do it. Do it.
listen to Mr. Conti. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Conti, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, our listener who is following us, commenting, sharing. And hopefully you are going to have another special guest next coming episode. Thank you for listening and see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.